We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ian and in this series of videos we're actually setting up a Fender Stratocaster. If this is the first time that you've been here, all of the previous videos in this series are in the links down below. And in this video we're actually going to start to set the tremolo system. Now the things that we'll need for this, we'll need a Phillips style screwdriver. We will also need some feeler gauges, and we need to, I'm using a bit of paper to put underneath here. So the first thing we have to do is we have to pull this down flat, and with our Phillips we have to back off each of these screws. And then while we're holding that down, we tighten the two outside end ones. Tighten them down snug. And actually what I like to do with the others is just to put them down snug. So we're not over tightening them, we're just taking all the slack off. Put in our tremolo arm and pull the body back. Well, actually on this guitar it's pretty much set. So we're holding the tremolo system down and we're loosening each one of these screws a couple of turns. So there we are. Now that we've done that, what we need to do is the two outer screws, we need to push them to basically lock them down tight, not over tighten them, but just so that they are tight. Now Fender specs for this say that the other four screws should be 1/8 of an inch up, so it's pivoting on the outside of these two screws. But we're not going to do that. I prefer just to have these screws sitting snug. They're not tightened, they're just set so that we would there. So now we need to get our trusty feeler gauge and we need to slide it underneath and see where we are. Now at the moment there is too much of a gap. The first thing we need to do is to retune and then we'll check it again. So we've retuned and now piece of paper is there to protect the body of the guitar, and if we just slide that underneath we can see that there is quite a gap there. So we need to adjust the springs underneath. Turn the guitar over and we're going to have to remove this plate here. So as you see, we've got 3 springs here and these 2 screws here will help us to adjust the tension on the tremolo system. So the first thing we'll need to do is we'll need to move those in a bit. And I tend to do it by a number of turns. So what we'll do is we'll give them probably about, we'll go for 4 or 5 turns each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just see if I can show you that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on each. And now we'll retune and see where we are. Right, so what I've done is I've gone back 3 times now, doing slight adjustments on the screws, so 3 turns at a time, retune, check the feeler gauge, and I've now got this bridge where I'm happy. So it just slides under and it's just sliding snug. So that part of the process is now done. Now if you're not sure what an 1/8 of an inch is, these string action rulers, it actually shows you what an 1/8 of an inch is. So if you're not sure and you've got a string gauge, you can always just check it with that. There should be a gap underneath here, but I can say on this guitar there isn't. That gap should be an 1/8 of an inch or 3.2 millimeters. So now we're going to get our feeler gauge. So now we've got our feeler gauge and we need to have it at 3.2 millimeters. And as you see on here, we actually can't get the feeler gauge underneath. So we need to turn it over. And we need to adjust these screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in fact I'm going to move these screws out to the outside again, so I'm going to slacken them off quite a bit more, because this tremolo system is quite a way out. So there we are, that looks better. And let's see where we are. With the feeler gauge. That's nearly there. I'm just going to pull this back a few more turns. So our gap now is actually too big, but that's okay. So all we do is turn it back over with a few turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we'll say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tune up. Check it again. Still needs a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You could still go a little bit more. And that's about perfect. So in the next video we will get on to rough intonation and start to look at what's called neck relief. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this and I'll see you next time. All the best now. Cheers. Bye bye.